Just kind of spread them out just a hair. Welcome back to the trail with Mushy the Cowboy Cook. Today we're going to make some corn fritters. Now we do these all the time on the trail. In fact, just the other week, Cookie, Mosey, and myself, we went to a Cowboy roundup along with Randy, or Muley. I'm trying to get him to convince him to take that name. But anyhow, we made 5 Dutch ovens full of beans, and then we made these corn fritters. In fact, we had 2 frying pans of corn fritters going. Cookie and I were flipping them in and out as Mosey was mixing up the mix and dropping them in. Probably had 150 people that we fed the beans and corn fritters to. Had a real good time. Like I said, we have made it lots of times in the past. Real easy recipe. Let's get into it. Alright, for the corn fritters, all we use is, we like to use the brand Moss. They're out of North Carolina. Yellow self-rising cornmeal. It's only the cornmeal and water. Now we don't even have a recipe, so what I'm going to do is start out with a cup of the cornmeal and put in half a cup of water and see where that takes me. My oil is heating up. And I know I need another half a cup for sure. So right now we're at 1-to-1 ratio. Because we make it fairly runny. Alright, it's just a little too runny. So I'm going to go back with about 1/4 cup of the cornmeal. Kind of like doing a recipe on the fly. And like I said, we never have measured out anything, because normally we do a whole bag at a time and just start adding bottles of water till it looks about right. That's about what you want right there. So that was 1 1/4 cups of mix of the cornmeal and 1 cup of water. Now, one thing when you're cooking by yourself on wood, you're the fireman and the cook, so you got to keep the fire going. What we'll do a couple of spoonfuls. Pat it out a little bit. Let that start frying up. We don't try and get it too thick. Now I do have paper towel lined dish. After it's cooked a little bit, nudge it off the bottom. In fact, it wouldn't hurt if the mixture was a little bit thicker, but that's just going to be trial and error, because you don't want it to look like, some of these look more like a funnel cake coming apart. But it's still going to eat. That's the main thing. May have a whole lot of little crunchies, but like I said the other week, Cookie and myself and Mosey, we made 200 or more. And you want it to be more crispy than it is. You're not cooking a hush puppy. So that's why you want them thin. Now this is one recipe you will have to play around with, get the right mixture as far as wet versus dry. But you still eat your trials. And if you're doing it inside, you want a good hot oil, not real deep, but you don't want it sitting on the bottom of the pan. You do want it to float. And what I suggest doing is having a little bit of water and a little bit of cornmeal. And if one batch isn't quite right, add a little water, add a little cornmeal to it. I know with things like hush puppies and stuff like that, sometimes you may need to go back and thicken it up a little bit or thin it out a little bit. But in the meantime, it's going to all eat. So don't worry about that. While these are cooking, I am just sprinkling a little more cornmeal into the mix just to stiffen up just a hair. Not much at all. Oh yeah, these will eat. Just takes a couple minutes to fry them. Like I said, when they're so thin, I know most of you know this if you've cooked much. When you're deep frying like this, every so often just go through and get all the crumblies, because they will eventually burn if you leave it in there. There we go. Just kind of spread them out just a hair. Now these are what I'm talking about. Hear that sizzle. Oh, broke apart. Yeah. These actually should have spread them out a little more, but once again, they will eat. Here it is. Just fried cornmeal. I'll bring you a bigger piece. Like I said, these are real simple. Just cornmeal and water. Yeah, these two I should have spread out a little more. Actually, I'll pour them, spread them out a little more. But you see, from one end to the other. Today they're not exactly like I want it, but I want it in between. You want them thin and crispy, but held together. But either way, they taste the same and you can eat them. But once again, try them, see what you think. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video on these Cowboy corn fritters. Like you saw, 2 ingredients was all we use. We cook it lots of times on the trail. Everyone seems to enjoy them. But the biggest thing, they are easy to put together and you can quickly crank out a bunch of them. Remember my Amazon affiliate link in the bottom as you do your Christmas shopping. If you like videos like this, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Share it, like it, and of course, ring the bell and Mushy the Cowboy Cook. We'll see you down the trail.